All right, man. Can the Pistons rebuild while still playing Blake Griffin? Let's talk about it. Motor City Sports Talk, we in the building. Appreciate everybody for tapping in. Hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video. Appreciate the love and support. And why not? Okay, why can't the Pistons rebuild while still playing Blake Griffin? It's not going to be a situation that Chandler Parsons with the Grizzlies and with the Atlanta Hawks. He got 2 more years left. Blake Griffin can still get his numbers, still showcase Blake Griffin off, and still try to get him to another team or let him play his contract out. And also, you can still play Derrick Rose, Tony Snell. You just can't have a team full of young guys, for 1 to 15 on your team. You got to have respectable veterans, and that's one problem that Brian Shaw ran into with the Denver Nuggets. They had no respectable veterans in their locker room, and it suffered. Veterans that are there like Vince Carter at the end of the bench, or you have some other guys like Elmer Fudd, Jared Dudley in the bench. Those guys ain't there just to go out there and play 30 minutes and average 25, 5, and 5 or 19, 16 points. Those guys are on the team to help the young guys steer straight. Sometimes the coach can tell you to do something, but a guy who actually can dribble and shoot the ball and you respect, he brings a little different aspect to it. It's kind of like this teacher and the student. You know what I'm saying? It's just certain things you ain't gonna say around the teacher that you don't feel comfortable with. But if you have a TA, teacher's assistant, you feel a little bit more comfortable telling him about your, personal issues or issues of that nature. And that's kind of what it is. Blake Griffin and Derrick Rose and Tony Snell and the veterans on the team are going to be like the TAs. They're going to make sure whoever they draft, Cole Anthony, Obi, Edwards, whoever it may be, Wiseman, they're going to show them how to be professionals and how to conduct with their interviews and what to do with your free time off the court. They're going to groom them. The Pistons have a lot of young guys, but you can't have an entire young roster. And people say, well, what Dwayne Casey and his staff there for? Like I say, man, sometimes the coaches can't, resonate in certain areas in the player's brain like players can. So Blake can still go out there and get 30, 40 minutes a game and still ball out, and they still can be young, and guys still can learn. They can see how Blake prepared. They can see how you draw plays and how Blake is composed in certain situations. And same thing with Derrick. This is actually a silver lining. It's actually a great spot to keep these dudes here. You developing young talent, but the pressure ain't on the young talent to take the last shot or to deal with the publicity. Imagine you just got a young team with Bruce Brown, Diambo, Luke, you draft a guy, you throw Bone out there, you throw Wood out there, you throw a rotation primarily of young players. And imagine if they on a 10-game losing streak. What young players ever experience some that catastrophic? Nobody. Who knows how to deal with the media? Nobody. Who can keep the locker room under control? None of the young guys do. Either, they're going to be too down or too joking around and not taking it serious. And this is where Blake, Tony, Derrick Rose, and guys like that come in. Luke Kennard's still a baby. You know what I'm saying? Wood's still a baby. Diambo's still a baby. Kyrie's still a baby. Brown's still a baby. All these dudes still babies. They're not ready to deal with the rigors of the NBA. And Blake can still get his points, and Blake can still get his minutes. You still can showcase Blake. At some point, hopefully, you can get him off for something respectable. If not, the contract just roll off the books, and you got about $40 million in cap space, and you're very, very flexible. Where most teams are, going for it now, and they're not flexible. This is a sexy franchise right now. Depending on how to draft and how the ball bounce, because they got a new practice facility, they got a new arena. You know what I'm saying? So, and if Diambo and Wood can grow into something, then you got 2 guys that, not only can get buckets, that can defend. People love to play with the guys that can defend and do the dirty work, that can rim defend, that can get out there and guard. That means I can come here and just get buckets. I don't have to worry about guarding the best player. I got help. But also you have to remember the Pistons were, losing a couple years ago while Blake still was playing, and Blake still was getting his numbers. So Blake's still going to get his numbers in this situation. When they had a more equipped veteran team with him, Drummond, Reggie, he was hooping and doing his thing. They still was losing. So for people kind of trying to speculate and say, oh, maybe with Derrick and Blake out there, we'll win too many games. We won't get a top lottery pick. I wouldn't be worried about that because they're going to have Blake on the pitch count. They're going to have Derrick on the pitch count like last year. And I'm never going to stop saying this. A lot of people that's, shitted on me for saying that they got to keep Derrick on the pitch count because he can't play a full 82 at 30, 35 minutes a game. And what happened? He got injured early on. He got injured again and again and again. You can't count on Derrick Rose to come here and be the 21, 23-year-old Derrick Rose. He's a player that's going to be a spot player. And one thing he hasn't learned to do is still make that transition that Antonio McDyess and Ron Harper made. When they had their injuries, they had to sacrifice their athleticism. The problem is Derrick still is twitchy at times. Derrick still can make you think "Ooh, this the MVP, Derrick Rose." But that's a gift and a curse because you push it too much, all of a sudden you out 2 or 3 games, 2-3 weeks. You know what I'm saying? So he got to learn to play a little bit more finesse, a little bit more less reckless. And a lot of guys end up ending their career. Dwayne Wade, shelf life was short because he was reckless at finishing to the bucket. And Derrick Rose got to play a little bit less off his athleticism and just more off his skill level. It's there. Instead of going to the rim and freaking it, shoot a floater, get a mid-range jumper going. But, that's just the way he play. But you ain't counting on him to be 82 games, 40-plus minutes a game. And people next year are going to have this facade that Derrick Rose being healthy and Blake Griffin is them being healthy 6, 7, 8 years ago. And it's not. They not there. They here just to help to right the ship. They here to help the flowers grow. They here to help these dudes grow on and off the court and show them how to be professionals. So the Pistons will be in tank mode if they don't go out there and spend reckless in free agency. And would I be surprised if Tom Gores and Ed Stefanowski and Dwayne Casey tried to go out there and throw some money at DeMar DeRozan and throw some money at Fred VanVleet and try to get right back in the mix and try to be playoff contenders? It wouldn't surprise me. It'd be the stupid thing to do. It's the same thing they did with Villanueva, Ben Gordon, and Josh Smith. Just because you got money in your pocket and it's burning a hole in your pocket don't mean you spend money at the store. If it's the right fit, you plug it in. There's only one right fit for me, and that's Brandon Ingram. As far as the high price guys, unless you can get Anthony Davis, we know that's not going to happen. But they 100% can rebuild while playing Blake Griffin. That's easy peasy, lemon squeezy. They was losing 16 to 15 to 17 games while he was NBA All-Third team. And this gives Blake Griffin the opportunity to still show he can do it and try to get to a contender. If Blake Griffin have a great, first half of the season next year, and he doing what he did 2 years ago, some team like Denver might bite on him. Brooklyn might bite on him. But this team ain't going to be a playoff team next year unless they get somebody that's going to have the impact of, LeBron. Even LeBron didn't make it. You had to look really at Michael Jordan, Shaquille, they missed it by a game or two. They're going to have a Jordan impact, on this team. What else happened that'll help if Giannis, end up leaving? But I don't think that's going to happen next year. Hopefully, he stays in Milwaukee, but we know the powers that be, him signing with Nike and NBA, going to try to push him towards California or New York or something like that. But this team will definitely be able to tank. They'll definitely be able to lose, but still grow and win. By the time Blake is entering his final year in the contract, either going to see a buyout or you're going to see somebody trade him like Andre Drummond, and hopefully they get a little bit more than a second. But with him being run down, they probably won't get that. So Blake is probably, his time is dwindling down in Detroit. And, don't be surprised if you see Blake trying to catch on after a buyout from 2 years from now with a contending team. But, by that time, Diambo should have soaked up all the game, Wood, whoever they draft the next couple drafts. And the Pistons, in a few years, if they do it correct, the Pistons going to be a young, exciting team on the rise, man. And I think they got middle of the lottery, Jim and Diambo, and they got their Jim and Wood. So just a couple things they need in the draft, and they'll be on the up and up. But hey, let me know what you guys think. Don't forget, we on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can reach out if you have a business question, inquiry, sponsorship, video request. Keep sharing the videos. Want to make a donation to the channel? Cash App, PayPal, description. Best way to donate is share the video. Don't forget, check out our Detroit Pistons playlist. Hopefully, we get a live stream going this weekend, either Pistons or Lions or both, perhaps. And don't forget, check them out the YouTube channel, Goodfellas Sports TV. Talk music, entertainment, sports over there. One time for the one time. Motor City Sports Talk. Y'all know what the business is. We gone.